We're living in a time where one clip can create one story, but that same moment can hold multiple truths. And if you only watch one angle, you'll miss the bigger picture. Today, I want to talk about IShowSpeed and his experiences while traveling internationally and what they reveal about culture, boundaries, and racism. Not just from one perspective, but from many, because this conversation requires discernment.
This is a niche culture analysis. Welcome. We break down patterns, don't just gossip. Welcome to a niche culture analysis. This is a niche culture analysis. Welcome. We break down patterns, don't just gossip. Welcome to a niche culture analysis.
If you've seen clips from Speed's time abroad, you've probably seen strong reactions. Crowds, security, confusion, tension, and everything in between. Some clips were shared with the narrative that he was being targeted. Others were shared with no explanation at all. And in a clip-driven culture, that's how misunderstandings spread. So let's slow this down. In Algeria, specifically, many local voices spoke up. People who live there explained that filming football matches is not allowed, no matter who you are.
Speed was not hit by bottles of water because it's racially motivated or because he's black. That happened because he accidentally tried to film Ultras members, and you cannot do that. It's strictly forbidden within football culture and rules. If you visit any country across the planet and you try to go to a stadium anywhere on the planet and try to film the Ultras members, the same thing would happen to you. I myself, 2 years ago, I was in a stadium and I didn't know that you're not supposed to film the Ultras. And they searched my phone, they deleted every single video, and they said, hey, please do not film us. We want to hide our identities. So please, for the love of God, the stream was great. It was nearly perfect. Everything was good. The vibes were cool. The dances were beautiful. The country is beautiful. Speed loved everything about the country. The people loved him and embraced him. It was cool. It was respectful. These white Algerians, they want to be white. Want to be white. We were colonized by white people for 132 years. What are you talking about? You know, this country was one of the first countries to endorse the Black Panthers. Learn some history before you open your mouth. And thank you to Speed for being the man he always was, because I love the stream. Honestly, it was beautiful.
Others pointed out that certain behaviors can be viewed as disrespectful in public places. From that perspective, the reaction wasn't about race, it was about rules, customs, and boundaries. And that matters. Because when you travel, especially as a creator, you're stepping into someone else's cultural framework, and respecting that is a part of the responsibility. Not every conflict abroad is racism. Sometimes it's just about awareness and discernment. But separating culture from racism is important because there were moments where the line was clear. In another instance, while riding through the streets with security, Speed was called the hard R word. Not cool. That's not a misunderstanding. That's not a rule violation. That is purely racism. And naming it matters because blurring everything together doesn't protect anyone. It weakens the conversation that needs to be had. Two things can be true at the same time. A creator can violate local customs and still deserve safety and basic humanity decency. A situation can be misframed and racism can still exist elsewhere. The problem is when we collapse all global conflict into one narrative, because that erases local voices and it also dilutes real experiences of racism. Both deserve clarity. We're in an era where clips are farmed to maintain one perspective, one angle, one caption, one conclusion. But reality is layered. And if you only consume what confirms a single storyline, you stop thinking critically. That's why listening to people from the country, watching multiple videos, and examining behavior matters. Not to excuse harm, but to understand it accurately. For content creators going global, talent isn't enough. Virality isn't enough. You need cultural awareness. You need discernment. And you need to know when something is about rules and when something is about race. Because if you label everything as racism, people stop listening when it actually happens. And if you ignore racism altogether, then you are an enabler. Balance is the responsibility. This isn't about defending or attacking anyone. It's about accuracy. It's about resisting one-clip narratives in favor of full context. And it's about understanding that global visibility comes with global responsibility. If you value nuance, if you believe multiple perspectives matter, and if you're tired of flattened narratives, this conversation is for you. Let me know in the comments what stood out to you, because culture analysis doesn't start with conclusions. It starts with listening. I've been Anisha Culture Analysis. Like, share, and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.